for the second time in this series. He spawns on the top side of Ronnie Research Station, the Blue Terran, Liquid Bunny. Pretty terrifying player right now. Round of 8 in Gfinity just at the weekend, and took down MC and Patience there. Looked pretty darn good at WCS finals as well. Let's see how the Red Terran player to the south side of the map from Team Property MorroW is able to do here. Alright guys, so getting into this TVT, bit of a faster gas coming up for Bunny, 12 racks, 12 gas compared to the 12 racks, 13 gas for MorroW. So it's going to give Bunny it's going to be a Reaper opening for Bunny, and for MorroW more likely to just be a factory opening, although again it's a very minimal difference here. And Bunny actually has his barracks a little bit sooner, about 10 seconds early here, so actually might have been on 11 racks for Bunny. Trying to get a little bit aggressive right from the get-go. Let's see how this turns out, because I'm actually kind of intrigued. Was it a gas first? It wasn't a gas first for MorroW, so a bit weird. MorroW just seems to be a little bit behind for whatever reason. It looks like he built an extra SCV or something. I really don't know. But no, I think Bunny definitely built his racks early, because I mean he got that orbital on 14 SCVs. Now he starts his Reaper. So it's a Reaper from both. Okay, so that answers my question. It's an 11 racks, 11 gas from Bunny, and a 12 racks, 12 gas from MorroW. So a slightly faster Reaper for Bunny, and Reaper vs Reaper can get very interesting very quickly here in the in TVT, of course, because if one player loses their Reaper and doesn't have a second and the other does, they can all of a sudden start taking a lot of damage. Now you can see here Bunny already starting up a second Reaper in production. MorroW not starting anything in production behind this Reaper just yet, which means he's going to have to be very careful with his first one. Cannot afford to lose at all. Actually going to pop down the reactor, so very important he keeps this Reaper alive. Is Bunny actually going to take the watchtower here? Is he going to stop on the tower? Yes, he is, and oh, he just doesn't see it. And now we're actually going to see the trade in between these two Reapers, and Bunny's going to get a little bit of a better head start to this as MorroW going to start retreating. Bunny going to change direction and move a little bit more towards the main ramp and just try and poke in here. I mean, he doesn't really have much to see, but if he can pick it off an SCV, that would be great. And he's not quite going to stick around long enough to get one, but he's actually going to come back up the ramp. He's going to maybe try and get it. It's going to be repaired up here by MorroW though, so keeping that alive. But Bunny putting on a little bit of earlier pressure, but will have the slightly lower later tech behind this, as he doesn't have a reactor yet, he doesn't have a factory yet. Bunny actually with a third Reaper on the way, so really committing to this Reaper aggression. We'll see what he tries to really get done with this here in a few moments' time. He's going to hop up into the high ground, as Bunnies do. Hoppity hop, and into the main base they go. As Reaper already here to greet these two, but as two Marines pop out, it's going to become very hard for Bunny to really get anything done. And he lets his third Reaper finish. He gets away with these two. Doesn't want to lose those, especially if he's committing to 3 Reapers. He's really going to be looking to get damage done with these. But is he going to be able to? I'm not too sure. Again, his factory is actually fairly similarly timed to that of MorroW's, but again, his reactor is much later, so he's not going to have Marine production here for a while. And he's going into second gas, something which MorroW is not doing just yet. Both players into their natural command centers, though MorroW's was ever so slightly faster. Going to the high ground here, Bunny missed micros a little bit, loses that first Reaper, second Reaper taking a lot of damage as well, and the third Reaper having to back off as well. So one Reaper down doesn't really get anything here, and Bunny just going to have to sit back for now and accept the fact that he's not really done too much, as both players head into Widow Mine and double Marine production. Wow, I'm really starting to feel a bit crap. As this Reaper hops into the high ground to come in for the scout, sees the starport on the way, second gas much later than his own, but we'll still see that second gas coming up, which is, I guess, not really too weird at this point, because it means whatever MorroW is going for, which is just going to be a mine drop opening, is just going to lead into tanks and Viking production afterwards, or maybe even a Banshee as well, which is a very standard set of things to go into here. Bunny looks as though his mine was just for the defensive purposes, no medevac on the way. We actually don't see anything from the starport from MorroW just yet. He's gone straight into tech labs, so the mines early on here just for defenses against potential Banshees, as engineering bay on the way from MorroW as well. As he starts up his cloak, starts up his Banshee, but Bunny just starting up Vikings. He's going to pop his factory onto a tech lab, and going to maybe pop his starport onto a tech lab as well. And with the gas he's got saved up, looks as though there's going to be some Cloakshi versus Cloakshi action here as we head towards the 8-minute mark of this TVT. Bunny can position his Viking to deflect Banshees coming in towards his own natural, and there's that cloak, there's that Banshee on the way now, as the factory of the tech lab on it will finish up and siege tank production can begin. So Bunny has a nice safe opening here really. As a scan comes into the main base, a second barracks spotted by Bunny, and Also sees that cloak on the Banshee and sees no siege tanks being made just yet by MorroW. So if he continues to kind of hold the air dominance in this game, he's definitely got potential to maybe move across the map with a couple of tanks advantage, try and get some early damage done. But MorroW of course will have a much faster stim pack, much faster bio upgrades in this game compared to Bunny. So that's where the differences will lie here. Bunny a few SCVs ahead, he's about 3 workers ahead, and I mean we haven't really seen too much harassment just yet in this game apart from those early Reapers out of Bunny. So a little bit interesting to see that difference already. 1 Marine for MorroW moving forwards. And coming down the right hand side of the map, Bunny has this Banshee moving forwards, looking to see what he can maybe try and achieve with this. So coming down the right hand side, and the Banshee from MorroW, did he just cancel that straight up? He just cancelled it. Cancelled the cloak as well. Bunny going to let his own cloak finish, but MorroW does have turrets in position, so this Banshee probably not going to do too much. Wants to avoid this mine here, and we'll do that for now. 1 SCV picked off, but Viking on the way forwards, and again the turret going to provide pretty good coverage. There's a scan available as well, and Bunny just going to set out a range of this orbital command, just work away on it, do some free damage. But, I mean, MorroW was happy for that. I mean, he's not losing SCVs here, so it doesn't really matter. Now this Banshee going to move away. I assume Bunny was maybe trying to force a scan out, just saying, you know what, I'm sticking around here, you know, use your scan to kill me. But then he would have been able to get away in time, so maybe going for that as he starts up his bio upgrades back at home. So he's later on the stim pack, later on the +1, but he has a much higher tank count here a lot sooner. In fact, he's only on 2 against 1. He's going to be out 3 against 2, so he's got a 1 tank lead, which is kind of nice as well. It's great defensively, of course, so Marine's starting to move out onto the map. See what's up, see what's happening. MorroW's Marine will win that duel as these 2 Marines from Bunny moving towards the watchtower, trying to just hold some map control here. Banshee on the way back in towards the main base, and actually will find an opening where he can get a couple of kills right now. Scan from MorroW, trying to pick off this first Banshee. It will get away though, as this other Banshee is doing a fair amount, and MorroW trying to drop to kill it, but Bunny keeps it alive, and that's 2 scans used to try and kill 2 Banshees, but neither of them actually going down here. So these Banshees forcing a lot of kind of indirect damage out of MorroW by Bunny. 5th CC ready to go here from MorroW, and that's something which Bunny doesn't have ready just yet, so MorroW is taking the initiative in terms of the economy here in the game. And this orbital going to come and land down towards the 3rd base as MorroW loses his Marine on at the front here. Marine still positioned watching for the 3rd base of Bunny. Bunny doesn't really have that map control established at MorroW's 3rd, so he doesn't know about that just yet. He does hold the right hand side tower though, and this 1 Marine moving forwards here will have the shock of its life in just a moment or 2. This goes down very quickly. Bunny having combat shields for that engagement as well will help slightly, as these 2 Marines will probably really be looking to just see the 3rd bases down, but they've stopped kind of mid-map, just holding the map controllers. Big drop from MorroW coming along the right hand side. 3 tanks in here, a bunch of Marines as well. I mean, we're talking about 20 Marines in total, and this could do a lot of damage, but Bunny is so well prepared. Look at this, he's got 3 tanks in his natural already. Now MorroW, I guess, could try and drop on top of this. Bunny's continuing to rally his tanks. Okay, he's moving out towards his 3rd base here. MorroW scans, he sees the 2 tanks, he's just going to think twice about this, as taking some damage on this medevac. Loses one of them, and that's a little bit of a shame. MorroW going to be forced away here now, sees the 3rd base of his opponent landing, and Bunny just going to focus the rest of his units towards the front right now. +1 about to finish up for him. +1 armor already on the way for MorroW though. Army on the way for Bunny as well. I assume that means he's probably got a 2nd engineering bay down. No, he doesn't actually. So, see what the armory is going to be used for, unless he just wants to go straight into +2, which is a possibility here. As MorroW just moving around with these Marines and these tanks. Oh, excuse me, sorry, I'm really getting the sniffles. As Bunny actually finds his opponent here, and MorroW will be the first to siege up, but Bunny really committing to this, picks off 3 siege tanks, but takes a lot of damage, and now the counter push forwards from MorroW. He's going to pick off a couple of siege tanks too, but I just don't think he has the Marine numbers to keep pushing forwards here. Siege tank adding a lot in, and well, a really interesting trade here between these 2 guys. I mean, MorroW lost 3 tanks there straight away, but then Bunny pulled back, and MorroW was able to move forwards and get some tank kills against Bunny. So very interesting trade between these 2, as MorroW actually up at 71 SCVs against the 63 right now. Bunny did add on that 2nd engineering base, so now he is going into 2-1 upgrades. MorroW not in a position to do that just yet. He does have his armory down, but okay, he does have his engineering base down as well, so he's actually going to go straight into 2-2, so upgrade advantage does stand here for MorroW. There's a couple of Marines stim forwards into the tank lines here. As Bunny begins to move out, he scans on top of this army. There's a third tank just dropped off here. MorroW sees that army advancing forwards from Bunny and realizes that he might be caught a little bit out of position right now because Bunny is just heading towards his third base. Bunny sees his opponent on siege and begins to turn around, thinking he might come in and engage this. MorroW continues to scan on top of his opponent's army, keep an eye on where his opponent's going. But he's starting to get himself sandwiched. He's got reinforcements coming up and he really needs these here as soon as possible. The scans are just continuing to fall here. MorroW realizing he's in a bit of a tough spot because if Bunny surrounds him, it's a little bit troublesome. And oh, Bunny's seen an opportunity here. MorroW not moving these units out of position. He has to just stim away and kind of run away with this. As MorroW now trying to fall back with the rest of his units, but he's already lost a tank, and that's less than ideal. What's over here? Just a supply depot. He's going to lose a little bit of production now as well, and Bunny's going to get a siege essentially onto his third base right now. MorroW can come in from a couple of different angles though, and that's going to be the key to kind of fighting this here. Trying to just come in from a couple of angles. He's got an upgrade advantage, I suppose. 1-1 against just +1. He's going to pull SCVs into this as well, and let's see how MorroW does. He's coming in from the back at the same time. SCVs come into this. But Bunny, does he just have way too much here right now? It looks as though he very well might, although at the later... yeah, he doesn't. I mean, he gets cleaned up, but he did so much. MorroW took so long. I mean, his tanks never really fired in that, in the battle, and Bunny actually has a supply lead here. He's got so much money in the bank as well, which is why he's actually not quite as far ahead in supply as he maybe should be after that fight. Actually, fairly even units lost overall, but... still, I thought that would actually go a lot worse for MorroW, as he's actually going to come along the left-hand side. Now this is interesting. He can definitely get along the top side of the map here and drop in towards the main, or he can just drop off behind the third base as well. Both possibilities right now, as Bunny is still just out on the map, moving over to the right-hand side here. He holds that watchtower, so he kind of knows that nothing's kind of around that area. MorroW is not going to be expecting this one as it gets ready to come towards his main base. He's got some turrets on the way. There's a little bit of a gap here. There is a Widow Mine. How much damage is this mine going to do? The Viking as well. The turrets start to finish up and Bunny starts to turn away. Whoa, the mine picks off one full medevac though. And these turrets actually doing quite a bit here. Another medevac going down. This has not gone super well for Bunny as MorroW does begin to siege up here in the main base. Bunny's starting to pick off the siege tanks of MorroW though. And that's a big issue for MorroW, who doesn't really seem to have enough marines protecting the siege tanks. They've all dropped off in such weird places as MorroW going to start losing his natural command center here. He has to start getting in position to defend his main, and he can't do that. He needs to siege up these tanks right now. Bunny has the vision with that scan, and MorroW is a little bit slow to siege here. He still holds position in the main base though. Bunny with a tank out, and this tank is so well positioned. MorroW can't quite reach it right now as scans here from Bunny take down a lot of MorroW's forces. But work has been lost on either side. Another couple of tanks over here gonna get targeted down. This turret needs to go down as well. It's picking off the medevac slowly but surely. He needs to get rid of this turret. He's losing so many medevacs for no real reason. And that tank goes down now as well. MorroW still with a tank here in the main base. A couple of tanks in the main base actually. But he not with too much. And in fact, MorroW really is in a bit of a better position right now in terms of supply. He has a lot more army supply. Picks up marines and going to use them to reinforce. Bunny really has run out of steam over here. He can't push into the production of MorroW, while MorroW is actually just sat in the production of Bunny. He gets cleaned up. But MorroW comes out of that with a 20 supply lead. And, well... can he transition this into a victory? He's going to kind of group up all of his units right now. He's got a couple of units, a couple of medevacs of units dropping off as well. No real tank numbers, and he is going to have to move some of his production away. But again, you know, he's got this main base on lockdown. Bunny lifts up. He's just going to get out of there. Very low health medevacs there. As Bunny actually just going to save these units, and that's nice. I mean, he keeps these alive. They're not just forfeit. But right now, Bunny has absolutely nothing towards his third base. One thing that did go his favour, he didn't lose a command centre during all of that. So MorroW is on 3 orbitals, so is Bunny, but Bunny has a 4th one on the way up. So he does have a little bit of an economic advantage here, and a base advantage in general. As one single sieged up tank here, MorroW going to push forwards into this. He's going to siege that tank, and here we go. MorroW was not in the best of concave to the left hand side, but does it matter? Does he have enough to just push through this? It looks as though he might. Bunny's army from the right side is starting to come in here, but it's not here in time just yet. And those are the units, of course, from the main base. They weren't pulled back in time. And now MorroW is pulling everything from his main base as well. Bunny loses one of his orbitals, his second orbital beginning to fall as well. And MorroW, is he about to be Bunny here? I saw a lot of people in the chat saying they'd be surprised if this was anything but a sweep from Bunny. But right now it looks as though MorroW is in a fantastic position. He's got a lot of siege tanks out right now. And he could just... oh, can he stim into this? I don't think he's got quite enough. He's going to siege his tanks. Maybe he just goes for it. Here we go. MorroW has tanks firing into this as well. And Bunny just has a little bit too much this time around. As MorroW is going to keep a few of these tanks alive, and he scans here, he sees what's coming forwards. I mean, he's just boosted away. Ah, there's a tank left behind. Ah, the tank. One poor tank here, as one medevac gets killed off as well. Bunny holds this off and takes a supply lead, and that is a big army lead. In fact, 20 army supply up, trails by 7 workers. Lost one of the orbitals, so the base count is kind of reset here between these two players. 3 orbitals for each. Bunny with almost mined out main and natural. I mean, MorroW has a mined out main already. He's actually going to lift that. Where's he going to send it? Just to this base here? Okay, so I mean, MorroW going to have the better income here in a few moments' time. Down on supply right now, though, needs to sit in a defensive posture against this incoming attack of Bunny. He's actually positioned over to the right-hand side here. How many Marines does Bunny have? Just the same number as MorroW, so it's all about the siege tanks right now from our Swedish Terran player, and oh, needs to be careful. The siege tanks are forced to siege here. That's exactly... Oh, that's actually kind of interesting. What took them tanks so long to siege there? MorroW taking a little bit of extra free damage here, and has to get into position though to defend this base over to the left hand side. And in fact, Bunny might have overcommitted here. Oh, he pulls away just about in time, but the siege tank's not there to protect, and that's a big factor in this. So Bunny turns away. He holds the advantage once again here now. It's sitting in the middle. Bunny pulling some reinforcements forward. +3 on the way for MorroW. If you can get that to finish up, that would be great for him. As scans from Bunny continue to just pick off a little here and there. This tank just about out of range. In fact, he must just be out of range because Bunny does have vision. Scans continue to come down, just looking at the army positioning of his opponent, looking to see where he might have to move to. Starting to move towards a gold base. This is going to help out Bunny a little bit. Should make up for that difference in... difference in workers. He actually just goes forwards here. And I don't think MorroW had to give up this position at all. I don't think he had to give up that position by any means. He only has 1 siege tank. I guess he lost a couple of his siege tanks during that, and that's kind of why he just went for it. He has a lot of Marines though, and Bunny actually just stemming forwards here. MorroW's just letting Bunny move forwards into him. MorroW really needs to just split everything and come into this. I mean, I just don't know if he can fight against this number of siege tanks. Maybe not. He's going to move forward. 1 tank leading the charge, and he's getting into a massive concave. SCVs are going to be part of this fight as well, guys, as Bunny comes in with just now reinforcements, which is going to help out massively here. MorroW sages another tank to the right-hand side. Bunny's tanks are taking a lot of damage, but there's just way too much tank fire, and MorroW's going to lose everything. And wow, moments ago it looked as though MorroW had this, but all of a sudden Bunny pulls it back with some great positioning on the map. He picked some great fights as well. MorroW never quite getting that +3 into play, and that's going to be GG. Bunny takes game number 3, and Liquid once again retake the lead here in this best of 7 all-kill series.